Malaria is caused by a parasite, a tiny single-celled organism in the blood vessels and livers of human beings. It's a serious disease that disables and kills an estimated 660,000 people every year. Though half of the world's population's lives are at risk of malaria, 90% of all malaria deaths occur in Africa. Despite medical advances, the disease continues to be a problem. It is estimated that every 60 seconds a child under the age of 5 dies from malaria in Africa. But there is hope that one day malaria will no longer burden the people of Africa.
The malaria parasite is an ancient organism. It has been with us since before we were human. Famous victims include Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, and George Washington. The malaria life cycle follows a devious path, swapping back and forth between mosquitoes and humans. This mosquito is infected with the malaria parasite. Because she is pregnant, she has become hungry for human blood. During the bite, she injects saliva to stop the blood from clotting. Her infected saliva also carries the malaria parasite. The parasite rides the bloodstream like a network of roads, seeking its first target, the core of your body's blood filter system, the liver. Sensing its arrival at the liver, the parasite searches for an exit. A sentinel Kupfer cell is the entry point to liver tissue. Leaving the blood, the parasite infects a liver cell, killing one or more other cells on its way. Over the next few days, the parasite undergoes hundreds of nuclear divisions, copying its DNA over and over again. A single infected liver cell can create thousands of new parasites. The next generation of parasites are modified to infect a new target: red blood cells. Inside a red blood cell, the parasite can hide from the body's immune system. The parasite slowly devours the contents of the infected cell and creates more parasites. The infected cell becomes sticky and grips onto blood vessel walls. Once mature, the infected cell bursts, spreading more parasites through the bloodstream. Malaria victims suffer fever, loss of blood, convulsions, brain damage, and coma. This year, 10% of people on Earth will be struck down with malaria.
the drugs and the vaccine targets which have been made for malaria have been unsuccessful. And that's mainly because people still do not understand very well how the parasite develops in these two organisms. One is where the disease is, which is a human being, and the other is the vector, which is a mosquito. So the vaccines and the drugs which are developed are not understanding these different developmental pathways. What we are trying to do is to understand basic biology of these parasites. How do they develop? How do they divide? Can we understand this, whether it is in the human host or is it within the vector? And if we understand what proteins, what is essential for these parasites to grow and divide, maybe we can arrest them, whether by drug or by vaccine.
The mosquito larvae are kept in trays of salted water. I come in every morning, I feed them, I hoover up the pupa, and then I put them in the cages for them to hatch.
One of the great strengths at Nottingham University is that we have an insectary. My job is to ensure that the mosquito breeding programme carries on so that we can feed the female mosquitoes malaria parasites. We feed them malaria-infected blood so that we can study the development of the malaria parasite.
There are a number of proteins which can be very crucial for a parasite to grow, to divide, and even to get transmitted from one host to another. So what we are trying to understand is not a protein which will affect only one stage of development, but many stages, so that even if we make a drug against that particular protein, so even if parasite escapes, let's say, at one stage, next stage it can be killed. So we want a multi-target stage protein, which is then can be either made as a vaccine target or can be made as a drug target.
How close are we to that?
There are many candidates which are both in the drug in the drug trials and also in the vaccine trials. Now, the problem is that the parasite is very smart.